Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Fantasy Fast Break weekly report. We're covering week 12 in this episode. I'm joined with Marco Aventajado. How are you, Marco? Welcome to the
What's
show.
up? Look good, good, good.
All right. You sound excited because we're ending week 12 on a Sunday. We're recapping it. It's just afternoon in our time here in the Philippines.
Yep.
But it was officially Clay Day. And I guess that's the biggest bit of news for the week. Clay Thompson returned to action after over 2.5 years
Two
on the
years.
sidelines,
Yeah.
thanks to two very, devastating injuries. Um, Clay Thompson had pretty much an okay game in his limited 20 minutes, which were obviously capped for his first game back.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on Clay Thompson
Well,
and the
it's
Warriors' outlook, rest of season, or maybe even finals, championship aspirations, whatever?
it's starting. So remember we were discussing that Clay Thompson coming in January is setting up a title run for the Warriors. So the first part is done. Let's see if they can follow through. I'm not a Warriors fan by any stretch, but I can see the writing on the wall.
So you think they're gonna win it?
Depends on what they do on the during the
No, I mean, what are
trade
your? I
deadline.
mean, what? Who do you have winning the championship as of now? Because I
They
think the Warriors are gonna win it.
they
I
look
mean,
really
it's gonna be
strong.
yes, definitely. I think in the West, it's a three-headed race as far as I'm concerned between the Warriors, the Suns, and maybe the Jazz. But it's to me really boils down to between the Suns and the Warriors, and whoever comes out from the West will odds are stomp on whoever it is that comes out of the East. I mean, yes,
Well,
the Bucks are going to be strong and solid and whatnot, but man, it's really hard to bet against a healthy Warriors team.
but don't forget if Brooklyn comes in at the lower seed and not have home court advantage, their part-time player is gonna do pretty well away.
That's true.
Assuming that they
That's
allow
true. That is
unvaccinated players
part-time
over
player.
there.
Yes. You can call him by his name, Kyrie Irving. Yes. Uh,
Yeah.
the Nets are an interesting case. I think Kyrie Irving, and his vaccination status will be a big X factor. Um, Come the finals or slash playoffs or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's an even bigger question mark that's going to be left hanging for some time. Anyway, we're called the Fantasy Fast Break for a reason, and that's because we give the fantasy basketball advice that people need or want in 12 minutes or less. And that was just a short intro. We're gonna dig right into the weekly report for week 12, and what we do here, in case you're new to the show, is highlight you know uh, top performers, disappointments, for the whole week of week 12. And it gives you, the fantasy basketball managers out there, a different perspective. It's more zoomed out, and the players that we highlight, um, as far as top or notable performers are concerned, have to have played 3 games or more within the week, depending, of course, on the volume of games being distributed for the week. But generally, our rule of thumb is that they have 3 games or more in order to qualify, for our selection. And after that, we also run down a list of players who should not have come outside of the top 250 but did. So they're pretty much the notable disappointments for the week, and we don't really dwell on that. But uh, it's just worth noting that one, maybe a few of them could be buy low candidates. So you just might as well field offers for those guys. And finally, this week we're adding one last new segment, and that's our fantasy basketball pickup recommendations for week 13, based mainly on what happened here on week 12 and other current news that's happening in and around the NBA. Okay, so without further ado, here we go. Uh, Weekly report week 12, coming in at number one, playing 4 games for the Toronto Raptors, is Fred Van Vliet. He really had my number this week. I was in 2 matchups against teams that had Fred Van Vliet.
Oof.
I lost 0-7 to one in a 7 cat league and 2-7 to the other in a 9 cat league,
Oh.
mainly because uh, FVV was a freak of nature this
Mm.
week. Oh, 30.3 points per game, six threes per game, 6.5 assists. I don't know. I just laughing at the craziness that he was able to deliver and kicking my butt. Fred Van Vliet is legit. I think that we will see him pop up in the top 10 uh, weekly, on a regular basis moving forward.
Yeah.
And I definitely penciled him in as a top 10 pick for 2022-23 in my fantasy drafts.
Every I got number 6, Anthony Simons, who was home alone because of the injuries with Damian Lillard and everyone over there. But with the ball being distributed more, he's teeing off to the tune of 29 points per game, averaging almost 6 3-pointers a game, just like your Fred Van Fleet there. But shooting at a better clip of 54.3%. No, 7 assists, not that bad as well. He shoots and he dishes. But what can you do? He's having fun, as well as the rest of the Portland Trail Blazers. If you see, everyone's having they
A
have
ball of time.
no, their usage is up because they don't have Dame taking all the shots.
Well, yeah, and the latest news this week, and actually it just came in this Sunday. Norman Powell entered COVID protocols,
Mm,
so the Blazers for this upcoming, I believe, 3 game week, yeah, 3 game
yeah,
week on week 13, are going to be
loses
without their
another.
top 3 scorers. So it's mainly going to be on the shoulders of Simons and probably Yusuf Nurkic.
Yep.
So yeah, Simons is a major explosive factor this coming week.
Yeah.
Speaking of explosive factors, somebody exploded this week. You want to take care of this one? Somebody you gave up on, I believe, early in the season.
Well, I traded him off because of the logjam in the Celtics lineup, but at number 9, Time Lord is just going nuts. Dikembe Mutombo esque on the blocks, averaging 4.3 blocks a game, shooting 80%. Let's not look at the 8 points or the paltry 8.3 rebounds a game. He's only playing around 20 minutes, but still, one steal a game doesn't hurt,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
it's fun.
8.3 rebounds is still usable. I mean, I
Yeah,
could have used that against a lot of my opponents this week. So,
but
yeah.
he's
Williams is heating up. And
mm,
the block party that he threw this week was crazy good.
well, he did it against my Knicks at Madison Square Garden to the tune of 7 blocks in that one game, in the home and home.
He shut
So
them out really bad, huh?
yeah, but it was such a good game if
All
you
right.
watched it. Yeah,
Yeah. All right. Coming in at number 23 for the week is Cameron Johnson. He played 3 games, averaging 19 points per game, 4.0 threes, 6 rebounds, 1 steal at 51.4% shooting from the field. These stats are a little bit bloated, and he took advantage of Jay Crowder being in protocols. Crowder returned to the lineup and back in action in their last game, pushing Cameron back to the bench. So we might not see him in the top 25 again anytime soon. That was a boost based on that injury situation over there.
so you're oop, move
Yeah,
that
go
one.
ahead. Yeah.
So you're saying me dropping Cameron Johnson was a good
No,
thing
no,
then?
no. I don't think he will be top 25 good, but I'm
Yeah.
no way. I actually picked him up in, I think, 2 leagues
Hmm.
just before week 12. I think I picked him up in like week as early as week 10. And yeah, I'm hanging on to him. I don't think that he's going to sustain top 25 value, but I think that he is somebody who can easily knock out top 75 value if he keeps up, you know. And he's a catch and shoot guy. And
Mm-hmm.
catch and shoot guys hardly ever turn the ball over. And
That's true.
since most of the leagues I play in, except I think for one, counts turnovers. He's a very good value guy in that in the sense that he doesn't turn the ball over a lot. And
Yeah.
in category leagues, it's rare to find a 3-point shooter who can hit four threes per game and shoot at over 50% from the field. That's
Yeah.
just money right there. So no, I'm definitely not dropping Cam. I'm definitely gonna see what he has to bring. There has been I guess a shuffle over the course of week 12 because aside from Crowder, the Suns were missing guys like DeAndre Ayton, JaVale McGee, and I guess the person I am dropping and or actually have dropped before recording this show is Jalen Smith,
Hmm.
who yes, he I dropped him right away the moment Ayton came back. He immediately started to disappear. But
Mm-hmm.
for that 1 week in week 11 that I used him, he was just amazing.
Thank you. But it's time to go, right?
Exactly. Uh, all right. This is bittersweet for me, folks, because I was once a hater of Kyle Kuzma. Well, at least back in his Laker days, I
Mm.
thought he was trash, unable to really contribute. I thought he was the new um, Carmelo Anthony, but worse. But hey, in week 12, he made me STFU with 4 games of
Mm.
27 points per game, 2.3 threes, 14 rebounds per game, a steal, and almost a block per game on 47.6 shooting. Um, I can't. If you told me that Kuzma will become a double double machine with two threes per game, a la Kevin Love, I mean, he's like, this is baby Kevin Love from back in the day, right? If you look at the
Play,
numbers.
playing alongside Bradley Beal as well,
Yes,
putting
and
up these numbers.
uh, at the start of the season, the impression um, coming out of the looking at the Wizards was that it would be the Dinwiddie and Beal show, but that has since fallen apart because Dinwiddie and Beal can't seem to be productive at the same time while both guys are on the court. But Kuzma, because somehow I guess he's taken in and learned a lot from his experience with the championship Lakers, and he's just elevated his game. It's probably, I think, at least to my mind, one of the guys who should be in consideration for most improved player.
Yeah.
I think that the leap that he made is just amazing, and he finished inside the top 30 in week 12.
Uh, gotta love Lance. After being signed in a 10-day contract, he does the land. Man, this guy is just unbelievable. At number 48 with 3 games, 17 points, 1.7 threes, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, all shooting 58.3%, showing the league that he wasn't supposed to be playing in the G League, but in the big show. But
I
again,
mean,
you
the,
have to,
the guy's crazy good. I don't know. I don't know what happened. What
yeah.
what what happened here? I mean, how did he explode for those numbers?
Well, you got two guys that are out. You got Brogdon and Caris LeVert, who are coming back soon. But Indiana seems to be favoring Stevenson over my guy from last week, Kiefer Sykes, who's relegated to deep bench, and they also signed Stevenson to for the rest of the season. So looks like Lance gonna see some run, even with Brogdon and Lavert coming back.
You think so, right? I was able to pick him up in one league. Uh, it's I know a very high risk kind of move,
Hmm.
given that his production was a bit bloated thanks to Brogdon and Levert being out, as you mentioned. But if the Pacers are going to blow up and rebuild, he's not going to be part of the lot thrown in with the Sabonuses and the
Mm-hmm.
TJ Warrens and or the Leverts out there.
Yep. Yep.
Stephenson is going to be part of that skeletal unit that's going to remain. I think that the Pacers are going to look pretty much like the Orlando Magic did in
Mm.
the second half of last season
Last
after
season.
the trade deadline. And
Yeah.
Stevenson might just pop off and play his heart out. I mean, he registered career highs during the span of those 3 games. Um, and it's
He's
one of the best narratives that have come out. I guess silver linings, I guess, if you
who
will.
doesn't love
Out,
the antics of Lance? You know what I'm saying?
well, I
Lance
mean,
is
more
good for
than
the
just his
NBA.
character, but the comeback
Mm.
story, the
Yeah.
the 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 idea of second chances is
Hmm.
a nice thing in the NBA.
Yep.
All right. So, anything else for Lance? Do you recommend people picking him up? And how deep would you consider picking him up? How deep a league?
Maybe like a 14 team league because Brogdon and Levert's coming back soon. But then again, Brogdon and Levert's been in and out of the lineup because of injuries anyway. So
Yeah, both
maybe
guys are injury
Stevenson.
prone, and I don't
Yeah.
trust them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for the guys who popped into the top 50 for the week 12. We're just gonna briefly run down the names of guys who disappointed and ended up outside of the top 250. 257, Eric Gordon, followed by fellow Rocket at 271, Kevin Porter Jr., 277, Reggie Jackson of the Clippers, Marvin Bagley of the Kings, Danny Green with that 0 0 0 0 0 game. Obviously, he's in the 281. Killian Hayes, for some reason, is out. Uh, Facu Campazzo uh, is a surprise for me, flirting with top 300 after being a hot pickup in just over a week ago. Nikhil Alexander Walker at 294, 295, outside of the 250 mainstay, Russell Westbrook is here rounding out our list, and a bit of a surprise to me because he's
Hmm.
normally quite efficient with the ball as a catch and shoot guy, is Justin Holiday of the Pacers.
But then
So
again, that's the Stevenson effect. Justin
I think
Holiday.
so. That's
Hmm.
very good insight.
Yeah.
In that sense, is Holiday at risk of losing minutes to Stevenson moving forward? Should
I think
people be dropping Holiday?
I think so. Again, if you got Brogdon and Levert coming back, then Holiday and Sykes are the odd men out.
All right. And just to add a bit of deeper context to this, Holiday has had a good run
Hmm.
with the Pacers as far as minutes and usage. Well, at least minutes go,
Hmm.
because he's their best perimeter defender, best
Yeah.
on ball defender right now. Um, and if you have a guy like Stephenson who can pretty much do serve a similar function,
Hmm.
but also score the points, pass the ball, who actually is a more well-rounded player, yeah, you're gonna see Holiday fade. And if his minutes are gonna get taken up by Stephenson, yeah, I do indeed recommend a drop for Holiday in this case.
Yeah.
All right, rounding out our recap for the report for week 12, we have a bunch of recommended pickups. Kyle Anderson, this is a no-brainer based on the multi-week absence expected for Dylan Brooks, who's out with a left ankle sprain. Nasir Little is a low-end producer, but as we've already discussed, given the Blazers,
Someone's got to
uh,
shoot the ball.
somebody's gonna touch the ball. And Little, despite having a so-so game on Sunday night, just before we recorded the show, has shown that he can produce some multi-cat lines. Lonnie Walker, the fourth, exploded, with 20 plus points last night, and he's been doing well in the absence of guys like Doug McDermott and whatnot. And he's somebody who can really be a go-to scorer, after DeJounte Murray, of course, and um, I think Walker is somebody to look at. To a lesser degree, Brandon Clark is somebody who's worth picking up. While Steven Adams is on the shelf, I think he's in protocols for the Grizzlies. Chumal Kiki started uh, for for the Magic at power forward. Wendell Carter Jr.'s injured.
Yeah.
He posted a multi-cat line, but struggled with his shot. But yeah, he got steals, the threes, and got glue guy type numbers, which is something that's pretty valuable in this game that we play.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not the least, even though he debuted with a meh kind of line, Rajon Rondo
Mm.
is slowly ticking up, and I think he's if you're have a healthy risk appetite, Rajon Rondo is worth an ad because the Cavs have 4 games in Week 13, and you never know. Darius Garland sucked terribly last night, scoring only 9 points and on terrible shooting. Rondo played actually quite well with 5 assists, three threes and steals. I mean, he is a guy that'll if he's like gonna be your fourth or third point guard on your team, depending on your league depth, the little boost that he gives you in threes, assists, and steals is pretty solid. Now, outside of this list, when I made these slides, Marco was mentioning that he picked up a couple of guys over the last week.
Well,
Please hit up our
just
phones with your
just
recommendations.
just to add on the Rondo thing, as long as
Oh yeah,
he's
go.
prime time Rondo, if it's a nationally telecast game, then he's gonna blow up. You know him. But if it's just regionally covered, then I'll pass for this week, even though it's 4 games. The two guys I wanna give you guys a heads up is Kevin Herter, who's
Yeah,
owned in the Yahoo leagues to the tune of 40%. He's ticking up in that lineup, but the one guy I want to tell you guys about is Alex Len. He's only owned 4% in Yahoo leagues. And if you want to
roster.
take a
Yeah,
yeah, if you want to take a flyer on Alex Len, again, Bagley Jr. 's not Bagley. What is he? The third? I forget. The
yeah.
third
Bagley the third, Marvin
isn't
Bagley.
isn't really doing well. Rashawn Holmes is coming back from COVID, so there's a window for Alex Len to do Alex Len things. You've seen him do it in Washington in spurts when he was in time sharing with Bertrand. Bertans. So I think he's my pickup for this week.
Yeah,
I
he's
take
coming
flyer.
off like you said, back to back double games
Yep.
for the Kings. He played well last night in a loss to the short-handed Blazers,
Yeah.
um, but he was up against a really motivated Nurk Alert, so I can't fault him for that.
Hmm.
So there you have it, folks. Our recommended pickups after the Week 12 report. Again, thank you for joining us, and that's it for our show.
See ya.